guys, welcome to Sip and Murder. The following story is incredibly recent in criminal history. Today's suspect has been studied and made into fictional characters on screen, and in my opinion is one of the most horrific killers I've come across. Before I begin, I really do want to acknowledge the victims and their families who may still be witnessing the Hollywood glorification of the killer. I do not and will never condone what this man did. I will not be going into graphic detail out of respect to the living relatives and the community involved. In the small town of Plainfield, Wisconsin, life once moved quietly, a place where neighbours waved and everyone knew each other's name. But in November 1957, that calm was broken. A local woman disappeared without a trace. Police followed a simple trail, a sales receipt, a quiet man, and a farmhouse at the edge of town. What they found inside would shock the nation. This isn't fiction. This isn't a movie. This is the real story of Ed Gein. Plainfield, Wisconsin, a quiet little town where nothing much ever happened. It was the kind of place where you didn't lock your doors at night. A quiet man who lived alone on his family farm just outside of town. But Ed's story didn't start there. Years earlier, he'd grown up under the strict rule of his mother, Augusta. She believed the world was full of sin and that women were the root of it. She isolated Ed and his brother Henry, keeping them away from everyone. His father George was an alcoholic who died in 1940, and his brother died mysteriously in 1944. Ed was left with only his mother, and when she died too, something in him seemed to fade. The old farmhouse became quiet after that. No visitors, only Ed. He stopped talking much, he spent more time alone, and in that silence, something dark began to grow. Then came November the 16th, 1957, a cold, ordinary morning. Bernice Warden opened her shop as usual. Ed came to buy antifreeze. Just another customer, nothing unusual. She even wrote out his receipt, but it was her last. By evening, the shop was empty, the door was unlocked, the cash register was open, and her truck was gone. The townspeople started whispering, where was Bernice? Police began to ask questions. One neighbour kept coming back, Ed Gein, the man who'd been in her store that morning. So they drove out to his farm on the edge of town. The sun was setting, the wind sharp against the fields. The officers had no idea what waited behind the door. Plainfield was about to lose its innocence forever. Two officers stepped out of the car, flashlights in hand. The beams moved slowly across the yard and the front door creaked when they pushed it open. They took a few cautious steps forward, then their lights stopped on something hanging from the rafters. At that moment, the silence broke. One officer ran outside to be sick, and the other just stared. Back at the station, the report was read aloud in a flat, careful voice. The list seemed endless. Belts made of something unthinkable. Masks, skulls, bones turned into household items. Objects no human mind could justify. Each word made the room smaller and colder. Later, investigators pieced the truth together. Ed Gein had been digging up graves, taking bodies from the local cemetery. According to reports, he visited local cemeteries about 40 times over the years. He is said to have exhumed a total of 9 women's bodies. Experts would explain that he used them to build a world of his own. A historian described it simply as he was trying to bring someone back. By morning, the farm was surrounded by reporters. Flashbulbs popped, journalists shouted questions, but no one in town had answers. The truth had come out of that farmhouse, and no one in Plainfield would ever see their quiet little town the same again. After his arrest, Ed Gein barely spoke. He sat quietly, answering questions in a soft, polite voice, as if none of it was strange to him. The investigators soon realised that they were not dealing with an ordinary criminal. He was declared legally insane and unfit for trial. Instead of prison, he was sent to a state hospital where he would spend the rest of his life. Psychiatrists described his mind was broken, trapped between grief and delusion. They said his mother's voice never really left him. She'd controlled his life when she was alive, and her memory continued to control him after death, which became an inspiration for world-famous movies, which I'll discuss in another video. Okay guys, thanks for listening to this video about Ed Gein. If you're interested in this criminal, remember I have a following video that is all about movies and books and documentaries about Ed Gein. So make sure to follow, like and subscribe my channel, and I'll keep feeding you with your true crime bits. So thanks so much for following me. Bye guys, thanks.